Learning Korean online has never been more doable, but with so many resources out there, it is easy to feel overwhelmed or unsure where to even begin. So, when I first started learning Korean, I tried a little bit of everything: apps, YouTube, podcasts, online courses. Some things worked, some things definitely did not work. And now that I've been studying for a few years and I've been living in Korea for over a year, I figured out the best tips and resources online to help you make progress when you're learning on your own. So, in today's video, I'm going to share a practical learning guide to learning Korean online. What works, what to avoid, and where to find the best free and affordable resources to keep you moving forward. Whether you're starting from zero or trying to break out of that beginner plateau, this video will help you to organize your study time and avoid common mistakes. First is the 90-Day Korean blog, which is an online learning goldmine. If I could only recommend one free online resource to every Korean learner, it would be the 90-Day Korean blog. So the blog covers everything from basic grammar breakdowns to advanced sentence patterns, and it even has cultural tips like Korean etiquette, texting slang, or how to interpret facial expressions in different social settings. The blog is designed so that you can use it at any stage, and there are blog posts on most major questions that you'll have. So, for example, if you search how to count in Korean or Korean sentence structure, then you're going to get a full breakdown, which includes sample sentences, pronunciation tips, and links to related articles. There's a really good chance you'll find an article that explains it better than most other resources on the internet. I used to bookmark blog posts every other week and keep them in a folder, which I still have. And whenever I was confused or wanted to review something, then I have this go-to place that I trust. And the blog posts are actually free for anyone to read. So there's so much quality information in a way that makes sense. Next, you can use the internet to also explore culture and not just learn the language, because learning the language is so much about the culture as well. And one of the best parts about learning online is that you can immerse yourself in Korean culture from anywhere in the world. So, reading blog posts about Korean holidays, food, traditions, and social customs is very accessible. You can look up how Koreans typically introduce themselves in business settings or how people really text in relationships. And all of this will help you understand context through the right tone and vocabulary. And the 90-Day Korean blog has entire posts like this on cultural topics, like how to navigate a Korean wedding, couples holidays in Korea, what to say when you meet your in-laws, or how to use honorifics properly. So these things are really hard to learn from a textbook, but they are essential if you want to sound more natural and respectful. You can also use online content like Instagram captions, product reviews, or restaurant menus as mini study opportunities. So try reading a caption in Korean, translating it, and then rewriting it in your own words. You're not just learning the words, you are learning the way people communicate. Next, try to thrive with structure. When you're learning online, one of the hardest things is knowing what to do first and what to do next. So it's really easy to get distracted by trending apps or viral content and then end up spending more time collecting resources than actually studying. So what really helped me progress a lot was having a structured plan that I could just follow from start to finish. So that is why I always recommend starting with a step-by-step course. 90-Day Korean is a great go-to if you're looking for structure, and it takes the work out of organizing resources yourself. 90-Day Korean is designed for English speakers, so the explanations are super clear. And the daily lessons are short, but they're packed with tons of useful vocabulary, grammar, and cultural insights. So each lesson builds on the one before it, and so you're not just memorizing things in isolation. It's really designed to help get you speaking from the very beginning, and that is what's always made the biggest difference for me. So even if you're not ready to commit to a full course, you just need some type of a study plan. Don't just open a random app every day and hope it sticks. So also try writing out your weekly goals. For example, focus on learning 10 new verbs this week or mastering one grammar pattern. Try to set small, achievable targets that will help move you forward. Before we get any further, we do offer a free Learn Korean Quick Start Guide, which you can download below. It walks you through the first steps to learn Korean more effectively with a list of recommended tools, basic vocabulary, and sentence patterns, and it is free. Next, try building a routine you can stick to. So let's talk about the reality of learning online. You can have all the best tools, but if you're not consistent, then you will not make real progress. Life gets busy, and that is why your routine has to be something that fits into your real schedule. So, when I was balancing work and learning Korean, I created a 30-minute study block that I could actually stick to. I would do 10 minutes of vocab flashcards, 10 minutes of listening or reading, and then 10 minutes of writing or speaking. And that is it. I didn't pressure myself to study for 2 hours every day. I just made sure I showed up every day. So, if you have more time, that is great. But I always say that it's better to study a little bit every day than to binge study once a week. The brain learns a lot better through short and regular exposure. You'll retain more, get less overwhelmed, and build a routine that does not feel like a chore. Next, use online tools with purpose. So, one of the benefits of learning Korean online is the variety of tools that you have access to. But too many people fall into the trap of using everything at once and getting nowhere because nothing really sticks. So, you don't want to just study, 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 and then forget where to find what you've already learned when you're trying to review it. So, the key is to use the right tool for the right job. So, when you're looking up words, you can use Naver Dictionary instead of Google Translate. It shows sample sentences, audio pronunciation, and then grammar tips all in one place. And if you want to understand a whole paragraph or get a rough idea of a message, then Papago is really more accurate than Google Translate for Korean. Plus, Papago saves your translation history so you can review it later. If you like to stay organized digitally, then consider creating a language dashboard in Google Docs or even your phone's notes app. I've been using this to keep track of new words that I'm learning or questions that I want to research later, or short journal entries in Korean. It keeps everything in one place so I can see my own progress. Another tip is to create a digital phrase book. So anytime you learn a practical phrase that you'd actually use, like, can I try this on? Or where's the subway station? Then just write it down and try to review it once a week. These are phrases that will really stick because they're tied to your real life. Next, make sure to balance input and output. A big part of learning a language online is consuming content, which means listening to Korean, watching videos, and maybe reading blog posts. And that's really great, but if you never use the language, then you won't remember it. So you need to create opportunities for output too. And that could mean writing one sentence a day in Korean, talking to yourself while you're cooking, or recording yourself speaking out loud. These tiny habits really build confidence and help you catch your own mistakes. Something that I've done a lot of is watching a short video and then trying to describe it in Korean. Even just saying, she's wearing a red dress, they went to a restaurant, or it was raining. These simple sentences can train your brain to think in Korean and practice speaking without needing anyone else around. You can also create your own talking points on different topics, like your family, favorite food, or your weekend plans, and then try practicing saying them out loud. This is really helpful if you plan to speak with a tutor or a language partner because you will already have something to say. Next, practice speaking online. So, speaking is often the part that people avoid the longest, and it's also the most important part of learning the language. So, if you're not living in Korea or you don't have Korean friends, then online speaking practice is your best friend. And you can still get started even if you're shy or not very confident. So, my favorite low pressure method is using ChatGPT in voice mode. And if you open the app, tap the headphones icon, you can just start speaking and say things like, let's talk in Korean, or please correct me if I make a mistake. It gives you instant judgment free feedback and it keeps the conversation going very easily. Then, when you're ready to speak with a real person, you can try booking a casual tutor through 90 Day Korean's tutor page. You can sort by native speakers, accent, teaching style, and even price. So, just one 30-minute lesson per week will really help you build fluency faster than just months of passive input. And you can find the link below. So if that feels intimidating, then start with a simulated speaking practice app. There are tons of apps like this where you can respond to scripted prompts or record yourself saying phrases and get feedback. And you don't need to be fluent, you just need to speak a little bit every day. So now that I'm living in Korea, I will type out sentences that I want to say when I'm meeting someone important, or I'll just tell it my situation in English and ask for basic helpful sentences that I can use. And this is such a great way to expand Korean skills in areas that are important to you specifically. But remember that ChatGPT can and does make mistakes. Since you want to learn Korean online, be sure to subscribe to our channel for more learning tips and instructional videos. Learning Korean online is one of the most flexible and accessible ways to start your language journey. But for it to work, you do need structure, purpose, and consistency. So start with a program like 90 Day Korean for clear lessons and progression, and use the blog to fill in gaps, answer questions, and dive into culture. Make sure to balance your passive input with active speaking and writing, and definitely don't be afraid to use free tools in creative ways. You do not have to be perfect, you just have to show up, stay curious, and keep going. Thanks so much for watching today. We would love to know your favorite online resource for learning Korean. So please let us know in the comments. See you next time.